Okay. My name is Phinda Willian Mamba. I am from the Kingdom of Swaziland. I'm from an organization called the Swaziland Youth Empowerment, otherwise known in Swaziland as Lufati. Now, what we do in Swaziland is that we work with young people and we seek to empower them in all spheres of life. And I've been asked to share my thoughts on this conference, the African Youth Conference 2015. Now, one of the things that came out of this conference that sort of impressed me was the emphasis on the agenda, on Africa's agenda 2063, which is sort of a vision for Africa for the next 50 years. And a lot of emphasis was put on that agenda. And I would really encourage any young person to go on Google that agenda and read it and familiarize himself, because in 2050 it will be us, it will be our children that will be actually leading this great continent. We are leading this great continent even now, but by 2015 we will be them. Our great leaders that are leading us right now, that have formulated that agenda, most of them will no longer be in power, will no longer be also in alive, some of them by that time. So it is very much important that we as young people start now and step into the decision-making process and begin to coin a way forward towards a vision or agenda 2063. So that's one of the things that impressed me the most with this conference. And also the other thing that impressed me was former president of South Africa, President Thabo Mbeki's speech.
Yes.
One of the things that came out is he challenged young people to stop complaining, to stop finding fault.
Exactly.
We know there are a lot of problems in Africa, but I think if we continue or measuring on those problems, we can only be experts in problems identification, and I think we will repeat the same mistakes that the generation that we are following did, which is talking about the mistakes, measuring on the mistakes. I think it is time as young people we start moving from just diagnosing the problem, because it has been diagnosed. It's time we now come up with solutions that are practical and pragmatic for us young people, and also solutions that are relevant, because it is only us young people that understand how we feel. I know that the older generation has a good heart for us, and they have passed heart, but they don't understand how we feel. They don't understand how we think. Exactly. It is only us who understand ourselves. So it's very important that we, as young people, we stop letting them making decisions for us, and we step up and begin to make decisions for our own, because we understand ourselves, and it is our future.
Exactly.
It is our future. So that's what came up, and so President Thabo Mbeki challenged us to stop complaining and step up. The second thing that he challenged us to do, he challenged us to unite as the youth of Africa, because when we challenge, we increase our voice, we increase our bargaining power, and we get to share also our experience.
Youth for our region.
Sorry?
You're talking about youth of our region.
Youth of Africa, the continent of Africa, yes. He challenged us to unite.
Exactly.
Perhaps even revive some of the bodies that existed in Africa before, that seek to unite the youth of Africa. For example, he even mentioned the African Student Union, which was a union of African students, which seems to be no longer in existence right now. We mentioned another organization, the Youth Pan-African Movement. Those movements are there, but they are now dwindling, and it seems like they are dying. We need to revive them, because those are the organizations that will consolidate the youth of Africa and give us a voice.
Exactly.
And a strong voice that will demand that we be heard among the corridors of power. So that from the speech of President Thabo Mbeki, that what came out strong from me, and it really circled home well.
And do you have an idea about the piece of different speech, for example? Do you have idea for different speech idea?
Idea
for the different speeches.
In the conference.
Yeah, in the conference.
Different idea.
Yeah.
I think what the idea that I had for me, that came out for me, was that the youth are realizing that it is time for them to take charge.
Yeah.
It is time for them to step into the corridors of power.
Exactly.
When I'm talking about the corridors of power, I'm not necessarily saying we must go and start chucking out governments and all those things. But what I'm saying is let's go there. If there's an opportunity for you to go to parliament, go to parliament. If there's an opportunity for you to call your government to account, do that. But the decision processes in Africa, we need to be part of it. The other thing that came out from President Thabo Mbeki's speech, which sort of impressed me, he said one of the mistakes that we are making as Africa is we want to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
The policies are there in Africa.
Exactly.
The AU has been I mean, they've been discussing these issues, and they've been coming out with charters and also policies. Even our governments have been putting in place policies. It says the policies are there, but the question is the implementation, and that's where, as young people, most of us, we have to come in. We have to push towards the implementation of those policies and those charters that are adopted by the African organization.
Exactly.
And so that what came out from me, and that what I picked from this conference. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.